Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over a big play that I made recently on some of the Eeveelution trainer galleries. I don't know if I can show them all on screen there, but I bought over 100 copies of these. By no means am I trying to convince anybody to buy them right now. I am just trying to give you guys some insight on a play that I made. I've never bought this many copies of any card before. I have about 150 raw copies of these cards in total. So between the four, Vaporeon, Flareon, Jolteon, Eevee, I have 146 copies. And then I also bought 4 PSA 10s, but they're just 2 Flareon and 2 Jolteon. And again, I would like to caveat this by saying I would not advise anyone try to replicate this, especially not now, because a few of them have spiked in price. You can even see other cards like the Zekrom trainer gallery has pretty much 5x'd in the last couple weeks or days. And what I'm about to go over is not financial advice in any way, shape, or form. I'm just wanting to go over a play I made, where we're at currently, and what sort of my exit strategy is for these cards. So here's a spreadsheet to show some of the numbers and where I'm at currently. So most of these cards I got between $4 to $7 ish. It was about $6 to $7 for the Vaporeon, $4 to $5 for each of the other copies. I bought them at the end of December, I think between the 26th of December and the end of December. So just over 2 weeks ago, in hopes that they would go up in price with the release of Prismatic Evolutions. So you can see there the 4 cards. I have the Vaporeon, Eevee, Flareon, and Jolteon in the quantities of each that I have. So I have 29 Vaporeons, 42 Eevees, 37 Flareons, and 38 Jolteons. I will say that in order to not have an impact on the public market and to show that there was any sort of buyout, I made all of these purchases off market, off eBay, off of TCG Player, so that it would not influence or impact the market in this sort of experiment. I bought them all through Facebook, Instagram, Discord, and I was paying 90 to 100% market 2 weeks ago for these cards. So again, I'm saying they were $5, $4, $6, $7 for the Vaporeon. I was offering 90 to 100% market because I knew, or I felt, that these cards were going to go up with Prismatic Evolutions. People were going to go back and try to find more of these full art Eeveelution cards. And with that being said, paying 90 to 100% market, there is some risk associated with that, especially when buying a bunch of singles. Singles are typically not as safe of a play as sealed in a lot of people's experience, especially when you're buying this many copies. You know, if I paid 100% market on a $7 card and it goes down to a $5 card and I buy 50 copies, you've lost a huge chunk of margin there. So it's definitely a high risky play. I felt that this wasn't too risky of a play in the sense that these are all Eeveelution cards. They're full arts from Sword and Shield era, and Sword and Shield is not getting reprinted anymore. Also, when we talk about the PSA 10s, these are extremely hard to grade in a PSA 10. I think most of these cards are less than 30% PSA 10 rate. So they're extremely hard to grade. They were fairly cheap. They're pretty much the most popular Pokemon group of Pokemon right now in modern era history. They come from an era that's not going to have any more reprints, and pretty much all of Sword and Shield era has absolutely exploded recently, including Brilliant Stars. So when the booster box started to go up now, you can see a lot of these other singles have gone up. So let's go over these 4 cards really quickly just to see how they're doing. So Vaporeon in the last 3 months up 206%. In the last month up 97%. So you could have bought this, again, I think I bought in right here. So between the 25th and 26th. So about $6 a card off market. I did not buy these on TCG Player. I bought them off of the away from these websites so that I wouldn't be like having my own bias or influencing the market and then seeing the effects of it. Yeah, up almost double in the last month on Vaporeon. Flareon, pretty much same thing, 154% in the last 3 months, up 97% in the last month. So again, I entered in right about here. I don't know, low to mid 5s, I would say. And we're sitting at 1054 right now. Jolteon, same thing, 109%, a little bit lower of a return right now, but it's still pretty decent. 109% in the last 3 months, up 75% in the last month. It looks like there was a ton that got bought recently that just shot the price up. I think I was paying around $4 a card. So yeah, $4.50 $5 a card for the Jolteon. And then Eevee up 108% in the last 3 months, up 89% in the last month. So a lot of these cards saw the bulk of their move when Sword and Shield era started to explode a little bit more. Brilliant Stars started to take off. Some of the Trainer Gallery Eeveelution started to take off. The Umbreon, Sylveon VMAXs, and the Umbreon and Sylveon Vs. And then we also had a perfect storm with Prismatic Evolutions, which I think is helping to keep Eeveelution cards very, very strong and relevant. So back over to the spreadsheet really quickly. Just wanted to show you guys, this is sort of where we're at based on those market prices. So all I did was multiply the TCG player market price times the quantity. My entry price was, I just rounded. So I said $7 for the Vaporeon, $6 for the Eevee. And then I actually just put $6 for each of the Flareon and Jolteon, which is being super conservative because I know I paid less than that. But just, guys, just within the last 2 weeks of this play, that's $518, 30 to 40% return in 2 weeks on these cards. Again, very high risky play. I would not advise people buy out a bunch of singles in hopes of impacting the market. I'm definitely not trying to convey that, you know, I do these buyouts or manipulation or anything like that, because again, I tried to do it off market. I tried to do it in a clean way that didn't have a super obvious paper trail for people to just start pumping this card up. And I was talking about it in all my videos, and a few people made the play on the VMAXs, but like a lot of people I don't think made the play on these trainer galleries. They're still relatively affordable. I do think they could grow. Again, this was more of a thought experiment to see how the market would react with Prismatic Evolutions coming out and these Eeveelution cards that are very, very gorgeous looking, very hard to grade, from an era that is no longer printing new product. And let's just jump into the PSA cards. So for the Jolteon, they're not doing quite as well. I bought each of these around $60, I think, $60 to $70. So the Jolteon is more or less the same. It's probably average like $80 right now. And then the Flareon, same thing, $70, $80. The one thing I do want to point out is if you go on Alt or any of these public auction sites, there's like 0 PSA 10 listings. They're all 9s. I mean, there's CGC 10s, but they're all 9s and 8s pretty much for PSA. You have to scroll really far. Same thing with the Jolteon. If I go back, pretty much no 9s. Or sorry, pretty much no 10s. Bunch of 9s, bunch of 8s. Again, I just saw the play on the singles, and I figured I'd grab a couple PSA 10s too, just to see how those pan out. Yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to go over, is just like where I'm at on this play right now. I will say, so my plan for these right now, that I wrote down in my notes sort of before I even made any of the purchases, you know, I saw they were pretty much on the singles. I saw they were pretty much $5 a piece, $5 to $7, let's say. I think my goal is sort of to 3 to 4x them. And so they're already double, most of them, potentially exiting between, I would say, $10 to $20 a piece, which again, some of them are already at, but let's say $15 to $20 a piece just to play the 3x scenario, I guess. And again, if I had to sell these all at once to one buyer, obviously I would not be able to get like that full 3x, 4x return. I probably would be closer to that 2x price, but I think I'll be able to trickle them out, especially since, again, I don't think there's any reprints. I think they're going to be harder and harder to find in those near mint to mint condition, especially as Brilliant Stars continues to go up in price. People rip it more. You know, their trainer galleries, which I think are like 1 in every 13 packs or something like that. We'll see how those do. Same thing with the graded play. You know, my entry point is about like $60, $70. I'll try to get around 2 to 3x on these in terms of like maybe $150 to $200 a piece. If I have to sit on them for a decent amount of time, I don't really mind it because I didn't have to pay too much for them. I think they're great looking cards, and also I think they will have some decent demand for them in the future. We'll just put at the end of the video, I had to move my picture again. So I do still like some of the plays in Brilliant Stars. I know the Umbreon has doubled. The Sylveon's pretty much 1.5x or 2x. Same with the 2 Vs. I will say the next play in this trainer gallery set, and probably the only other one besides those 4 Eeveelutions that I would even consider right now, is the 2 Mimikyus. The Mimikyu VMAX is up a decent amount in the last month. So it's about 33% in the last month. You could get it for around $16, $17 a month ago. It's only up, if you do that, the numbers wise, it's only up $3 or $4. So I do really like this card still. I think the 10s and the raw have room to grow. Same with the Mimikyu V. I actually think this card is better looking than the VMAX personally. So if I were going to pick one up right now and they're pretty much the same price, I'd probably be grabbing multiples of these, the Vs and the VMAXs. I don't think I'm going to make a similar play and buy 50 of these or 100 of them. I really just wanted to do it with the Eeveelutions. With that being said, you know, definitely be watching those cards, be watching a lot of the trainer galleries across Sword and Shield era, Lost Origin. Silver Tempest has already seen moves with the Rayquaza going to like $70. So that's really the purpose of the video. I just wanted to make the play. I know some people will probably be in the comments saying this guy's, you know, causing FOMO, market manipulation. He's trying to pump his own bags. I'm really not. That's part of why I purposely bought them off market, so that no one would see an impact to it. It would be a drop in the pan, you know, and I was paying full market price for them pretty much. So I felt like I was doing the most ethical thing I could for the purposes of the experiment. Obviously, I was doing the purchases with trying to make a profit, but I think everyone still watching this video at this point is probably trying to do this to make a profit or at least have fun while making money. It's not my job to try to defend myself here. I just wanted to inform you guys on the play that I made, and I know I posted about them today on Instagram, and some of you guys left some feedback or talked about how you made plays on some of the VMAXs and stuff, so that's awesome to see. But yeah, hope y'all enjoyed. Leave a like on the video. Let me know which of these four is your favorite. Which trainer galleries are you thinking about picking up in the future, or are you going to skip them entirely, focus on Scarlet and Violet? They're very similar to Illustration Rares, honestly, in terms of some of their PSA 10 grading rates. But yeah, let me know down in the comments which one your favorite is, and please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and other than that, I will catch you guys in a new one soon. Peace.